Welcome back to Tobago CSI. We've heard that we now have in excess of 20,000 vehicles on our roads in Tobago, with a road network that has virtually remained unchanged for as long as most of us could remember. We have also heard that between January and June 2015, we had approximately 994 reported road accidents, which averages about 41 accidents per week, some of which have been fatalities. The situation is far from acceptable, as it results in the loss of life and property, usually due to irresponsible behaviors by motorists. Next up on Tobago CSI, we will give you a first-hand view of some of the violations made by motorists and suggest ways in which we can be more responsible as we improve safety and save lives. Sylvester's Auto World to get a first-hand view of how to keep our vehicles safe and roadworthy. The inspection process is an important first step in ensuring roadworthiness of our vehicle. Let's go take a look at a full inspection in progress right now. Good morning, Mr. Sylvester, and welcome to Tobago CSI.
Yeah, good morning.
I'm happy
to
to be here at your inspection site, and would like to go through with you today about how we can ensure that our vehicles are safer on the roads in Tobago. You know, for many of us, one accident is too many, right? So tell me first of all, though, what are your thoughts on the current situation with road traffic accidents?
Well, my thoughts on that is, I find Tobago don't really have the amount of accidents like in Trinidad, which is very good. I mean, but every accident is too much, but you know, the percentage is low, and I'm glad for that in Tobago.
All right. Does that signify that people are taking good care of their vehicles and adhering to what the regulations say?
Well, it's a possibility that people, you know, are really adhering to the law a little bit more maybe in Tobago, because the law requires that you do inspection on your P vehicle once it's over 5 years, every 2 years. Okay. You know, so once you have your vehicle inspected, I believe that's the reason why we have less fatalities in Tobago. Right,
and this is an approved inspection site,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Okay, so what kind of flow of people do you see coming in here in terms of the numbers?
Well, sometimes it fluctuates. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. When you find the licensing officers on the road, you find plenty of people come for inspection. When they're not, you find they ease up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm an average female driver, and you know, we just getting our vehicles, we start and we go, right?
Yeah.
Not with much care for what are some of the things that you need to look for and pay attention to in your vehicle. Now, I was able to obtain this very long list of things, and I'm thinking, whoa.
Yeah, well, most of these things you wouldn't really know. You see, there's a reason why you have to come and do inspection. So when you do inspection, this whole list of things, you understand, that you're supposed to run through.
Okay.
A person who now having a vehicle or now owning a vehicle wouldn't know about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have a closer look, because for me, I didn't even think all these things are on my vehicle.
Okay.
So could we probably go through the paces? What are the things that you look for and you should pay attention to on your vehicle to ensure that it's safe?
Okay then. Well,
so where do we start first?
First we begin with lights. You start with lights. You know, your park light, your indicator light, your ID light. You know, making sure that everything working. You understand? Your horn, a wiper.
Okay. But is there anything special about lights? Because I have a real problem with lights on the road, especially at the night.
Well, you see, some people having these bright lights. Those are illegal.
Right.
Those are illegal. You're not supposed to have those kind of fluorescent looking lights on your vehicle. Some will be blue and green and all color. That is illegal. Also with your horn, once your vehicle you have a horn that is it have more than one note.
Yeah.
It is a musical horn, and that is also illegal.
So it's just one piece.
Yes.
So I can't have no
one
fancy.
note. No, you can't have no fancy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
And you would tell people this when they come to inspection.
Yes.
Are they required to remove it if you say that there's a fault with it?
Well, they will fail inspection if they don't.
Okay.
Okay.
And you don't give nobody no blight, right?
No blight.
Okay.
Yeah, so
right.
inside the vehicle now, you check seatbelt, make sure the seatbelt is holding properly.
Right.
You make sure the seatbelt, you understand? You check the seats, make sure they're firm.
Okay.
Especially, driver's seat and thing, steering. Well, the brakes and those things we'll check later on.
All right?
Yes. So from here, we could go below and check and see exactly what kind of condition the vehicle is below.
Is there now any requirement for the rear seat belts?
The rear seat, no. There's no requirement for the rear seat belts. Only the both fronts. Yeah.
All right, so we're going below now.
Yeah.
All right, so this is what it looks like under here.
Yes, this is underneath the vehicle. Now, the first thing we check when we come underneath, we check the whole cradle system, the cradle arm system.
And what's the cradle arm? This thing here?
Yeah, this whole arm, that whole wheel. Because there are some bushings here that go bad. And also there's this stabilizer bar that the rubbers, you realize how this rubber looking? This rubber look like it start to go, it ain't going.
Right.
Yeah.
So it should, I'm seeing something dripping there.
Right, you see? And all of that. When you have oil leaks, that is a failure. Oil leaks and water leaks. You see why?
Okay. So
see?
nothing should be dripping underneath here?
No, nothing should be dripping. The only thing should be dripping here is air conditioned water if you have one air condition.
Okay, so that's fine.
Yeah, and
okay, so yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it's a possibility when you see something dripping, it's either oil, air conditioned water, or water from your radiator. And I've seen something looking green, so that look like his.
That look like radiator.
Like his radiator water leaking. He have a leak somewhere, and you see how important the inspection is. He doesn't even know that he has a water leak.
And you say how often you should have this checked?
Every 2 years. That is required by law.
Okay. All right. So the cradle arm.
Yeah, the cradle arm. You check it, well, the whole front system with the rack and pinion, dealing with the steering, everything, the exhaust system, the whole thing, the transmission, you understand? The whole drivetrain, coming back to the differential.
Right, so the differential. So I don't have a clue what you're talking about, so I'm hoping people who are drivers and so on know that this thing here is called the differential.
Right. You understand? So we're checking to see this is the shock. Making sure that there are no leaks and thing. Make sure the spring and some of these fellows were dropping down the vehicle low. Very low. No, if your vehicle cannot come over the pit, that's a failure. That's a failure.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So you're looking to make sure that if there are any leaks, then that's a problem.
Yeah. Because you're watching. This is the backing plate of the brake system.
Yeah.
That is the backing plate there now. Now we find if brake fluid leaking, oil leaking, you'll see a residue in the backing plate there, and now you're not seeing none. So this one is okay.
Okay.
Right. So all of that is dealing with safety, because if oil on your brakes, you cannot have efficient brakes.
Alright, so it means the tendency if you match
yes.
the car will skid.
Yes. Or
you
wouldn't get proper brakes at all.
Okay.
You wouldn't get proper brakes. The brakes wouldn't hold properly.
Alright, so this is something very important.
Very, very important. Okay.
What else we need to know?
Yeah, all these bushings on this we call this is a dog bone. They call this a dog bone. Right?
Okay.
If you watch it, it's good in shape.
Like a dog.
Like a dog, yes. All these bushing and things, they need to be in order because that does help stabilize the vehicle on the road. You understand? Yeah. If the
Do you
bush,
find people making any modifications to these things that compromising safety?
Not really. Not really. People tend to look to put back everything original unless it's in general. Some of these young fellas want to put in the SR and the whatnot. The modification is them mostly from the engine. Yeah, from the engineer, the power. Alright, so we could go back upstairs.
Go back up?
Yeah. And next thing is very important is the tires.
I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah. Very important in the tire because sometimes when you watch the tire from outside, you don't realize that sometimes you're seeing wire on the inside. And some people just change around the tire when they come for inspection, figuring that you wouldn't see it. But when you come below here, you could see the tire.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. So you see the tires, all of them looking okay.
So these are okay?
Yeah, these are okay.
Okay, so let's head back up. Okay, so I've seen below a vehicle. So in this case, except for the leaks that you would then, what do you do from here? You found that there is a problem. What's the next step?
Well, the next step from there is that this person wouldn't be getting an inspection certificate. They'll be getting a checklist with the defect written on the back of it.
Right.
So they have to go and fix that, come back within 6 weeks. If you don't come back within 6 weeks, you'll have to pay again.
And how much does it cost to have an inspection?
It's cheap, only $165.
Oh, okay. Not that bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Okay, so, but if the 6 weeks expires,
yes,
then
you have to pay again. So you have 6 weeks in which to rectify the problem and come back for us to verify it, and then you'll have your inspection certificate and your sticker.
Okay, all right, that's great. So just your final words in terms of what would you advise motorists to do in relation to their vehicles, the care of it, and ensuring that it is safe so that we can reduce road accidents?
Okay, well, first to begin with, it is law that you do inspection in your vehicle once your vehicle is over 5 years. You have a P vehicle, it's over 5 years, you need to do inspection. Right. You understand? Doing your inspection, that make everything much safer for you and for me on the road. You understand? It narrows down the fatalities on the road. Okay?
All right, great. Well, thanks a lot, Mr. Sylvester. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure here too.
And I'll be sure to make sure my vehicle comes by.
All right then. All right. Yeah, take care.
Well, you've seen it here on Tobago CSI. Despite all the warnings, persons are still driving under the influence. Our police officers are diligent in their duty though, as they enforce the laws and educate the public. Hats off to them. But that's not all. Continue viewing as we take it to the streets once again, this time with Officer Patrick of the Licensing Division.
Insurance of the vehicle and your driver's permit.
Welcome, Mr. Patrick, to Tobago CSI. Now, I know you are well known in Tobago, so tell us maybe your full name and what position you hold. What do you do at the license office?
My name is Keith Patrick, and I am a motor vehicle officer 2 attached to licensing office Tobago.
Okay, and what does a motor vehicle officer 2 do? What you're responsible for?
As a motor vehicle officer 2, I am responsible for going out on the highways and on the roads and checking vehicles to make sure that they are roadworthy and they stay within the laws.
Okay, good. So you're the right person. Chapter 4850.
Which is the laws that govern motor vehicles on the roads.
Okay, so you're the right person we're talking to. So tell us, what are the things that you've been observing on the road that put motorists and pedestrians at risk?
Most of all, I observe that the speed that the motorists travel with is very great and above the speed limit.
Okay. Well, you know we have a lot of fast cars now.
Yeah, but the people in Tobago have to remember that the speed limit is 50 kilometers per hour.
Okay.
And anytime they go above that, they commit an offense.
Okay. And what's the charge for that offense?
Charge for that offense is, I think it's 1,000. It's a ticketable offense.
Okay, it's a
It's
ticketable
actually
offense.
collected.
Okay, great. What are the things that you observe on motor vehicles that tend to put people at risk?
Unauthorized lights,
Right. Okay.
which are lights that are being placed on vehicles that does not come with the vehicle.
Okay. So people
That is not
change
allowed
the
to be
lights.
used on the vehicle. Some people go ahead and change the color of the bulbs to light blue, like this
Okay.
one,
Right.
which is illegal. All lights in Trinidad and Tobago are supposed to be on color.
Okay. So
Right,
that means it
that-
should be clear.
It's supposed to be clear.
Right.
Once it gives off a colored ray, it's unauthorized.
Okay.
And the penalty for that is $750
Okay.
per ticket.
For a ticket.
Yeah.
Okay. Not per bulb.
For a ticket to
For
the
a ticket
unauthorized
for
light.
the unauthorized. What else about these lights that you're noticing that people?
Well, this is what is called a ballast. A HID ballast.
Right.
This is like an amplifier for the light.
Okay.
The guys go out there and buy these and attach it to the light,
Okay.
and which will increase the amount of density that will come out in
Right.
rays.
So it makes it
So
brighter.
It make it brighter.
And these don't normally come with the vehicle?
No, they don't normally come in vehicles.
Okay.
This is an accessory. This is also another kind that they use.
Okay.
Another kind of ballast.
Another kind of ballast.
Yeah.
And these things are legal?
Not legal at all in this country.
Okay. So you have to have a permit or a license to sell these things?
Well, that is something for the customs to deal with.
Oh, that is for customs. Okay. But you're saying they're illegal, and if you're caught with them.
Once you put them on your vehicle, we will charge you for having unauthorized lights.
Okay. But what leads you to know that a man have on one of these? Except, I mean,
Well,
in the
when
day
we
you
stop
can't.
your vehicle on the roadway, we do what is called a routine inspection check.
Right.
And
So what do you look for in that check?
When you check in, we might ask you to open your bonnet, right?
Right.
And when you open the bonnet, we look inside and we make certain observations. And most times we see these
You
are
see
being
these.
connected to the lights. So we
Okay.
know that
Right.
when we see these connected to the lights, we know that we actually turn it on and make observations.
Oh, okay. And what are these now?
These are additional lights that they put on their vehicle.
Oh, I notice you have
And it
different
has several
colours.
bulbs in it. This is also unauthorized.
Okay.
And carries a penalty of $750.
Also. This is the same type or
This is
different?
another type.
Same HID.
Well, same, this is a fog light, right? And they could connect this, could be connected to all these lights here.
But what's the real risk of having these souped up extra bright lights on the roadway?
The extra bright lights on the roadway cause harm to the oncoming driver. Because when you get an extra bright light coming facing you, most time you can't see where
Right.
you're going. You might have to stop.
Okay.
Because if you don't stop, you could run head on into the other car.
Right.
So it's dangerous to the person that is doing it and to the person coming from the other direction.
Okay. And what? Oh, this is just another
Another
type of light.
There are several types.
So what's the infringement with this? No, what's this
Okay.
gadgety thing?
This
here?
this gadget here is what we call the trumpet. So this is a motor for a horn, right?
Right.
And this is supposed to carry 4 outlets here. You'll have 4 of these and connected. And when
Right.
you blow it, you will give a repeating song.
Okay.
You know?
That is like police siren and
You
things.
could give a different song, you know, like instead of one blast pop, you might give pop, 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 pop. You know, sometimes I can't pass it, just hear it blowing continuously and this kind of thing, right? Okay. That is illegal. The law in Trinidad and Tobago, the horn must make one blast. Pop!
Okay, so no fanciness.
No fanciness. Once you have that, it becomes unauthorized.
Okay, so this is the horn. These are all lights.
Yeah.
Any other things that you see that put people at risk on the highway or maybe illegal that you're observing?
Yes, several other things, you know. Tints. I want to touch a little bit on tint.
Yeah.
Especially, a lot of people go away with the idea that the law for tint is 20%.
Right.
The law for tint is not 20%. It has no percentage. The law says that you must not treat or tint your glasses, your windows, or windshields to obscure the vision from outside to inside. It does not say anything about 20%.
Okay. So once you can see clearly. So what's your test?
Our test is we do have a machine.
Right.
When we look at your car, we give a check.
Yeah.
Right?
And once you can see, that's it.
Once the officer check your glass and he can see, you'll have to remove your tint.
Okay. And that stands up as being unlawful once you as the officer say that it's unclear.
To check it here.
Oh, okay.
Some people go away with it. A lot of people say that they could put on cold steel. Tint, and I don't know if you hear the term.
No.
Cold steel. A lot of people go about saying that they could use cold steel. Because when they stand up by a cold steel tinted window, you might see inside. But when the sun hits it, it turns into a mirror and gives off a reflection.
Okay.
So no reflective tint is allowed.
Okay, and what's the penalty for that?
The penalty for tint is $1,000. Penalty for tint is $2,000. Under Section 23, 1D.
Right. Okay.
$2,000 is charged for having tint on your vehicle.
So if I refuse to remove my tint, you stop me on the road and you say, hey, you need to remove this tint, and I refuse. What happens then?
We will bring it to the office here.
Right.
And the motor vehicle to traffic regulation 23 1D gives the Transport Commissioner the licensing authority the permission to cancel registration of that vehicle, any vehicle that is so tinted to obscure the vision from outside to inside.
Okay, and have you had cause to do that in Tobago here?
Well, we have cause to bring them inside here, and then when they realize, when we read the law to them, they normally comply.
Okay, so you say it is largely because people are not aware that these are the laws and the regulations that guide, or what's the issue here?
Yeah, but it's a kind of follow fashion thing. Because we have a lot of problems with people tinting the whole front glass from top to bottom.
Right.
And that is a no-no. No vehicle in Trinidad and Tobago is supposed to be tinted. The front windshield from the top to the bottom.
Right, okay. I see you have some other things on the display here.
Yeah.
What are the challenges we have with number plates?
Well, we have a lot of challenges with number plates, as you can see. These are some of the number plates that have been taken off of vehicles.
Right.
Because they're not conforming to the 4850.
Right.
Number plates supposed to have.
So, like this one, what?
This is a digital number plate, right? The letters supposed to be of one size, like this.
Okay, like this.
Yeah, this is a good plate.
This is a good plate here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All these fancy ones here is a no-no.
All right, so you're saying it should be
consistent.
Consistent like that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter the color.
It should
like
be
this
white
one,
or black.
It's the same color. It should be white or black, but it can't be fancy.
It can't be fancy.
Okay. Is there a particular reason for that?
Well, the law says that it's supposed to be
plain like that.
Plain like that, of a specific size.
Okay. So you mean if I'm a woman and I like a little fancy plate, I can't just fancy up my style a little bit, even if it is. So that is against the law.
That is against the law.
Okay. Are there any other particular issues that put people at risk on the roadways that you want to mention?
Well, we have to look at like tires, and like as you can see, we have some mechanical parts here. Brakes is an important thing on the vehicle.
Yeah.
Right? This is a brake shoe that came off of a vehicle, you will notice that it's way down.
Yeah.
And if you have this on your vehicle, it will not, the brakes will not hold properly when you
Right.
because it is worn down.
Okay.
Missing PC and all that.
Yeah.
So the machine brakes will not hold.
So you
properly.
check for that too?
Yeah, well, we ask you to try your brakes and so on. And when you pull your brakes, if it is like this and I ask you to try your foot brakes, the brakes will not hold properly. When you mash your brakes, the wheel will still be spinning.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And added to that, it will make noise. It will make a noise when you're driving. Your head making a noise.
Right.
This one is a dispatch, but this is completely worn. Because it's supposed to have the pad up here still.
Right.
So you realize it's all gone.
Okay.
And this is some of the conditions that people drive their car under.
On the road. And so is there still in effect now? I remember there used to be in effect where you have to have your vehicles and private vehicles to inspect it. Is that still in effect?
That is still in effect.
And what's the inspection period?
All right. A new motor vehicle from the El Masi or Joe's Motors would have to be inspected after 5 years.
Right.
Right? And a sticker will be placed on it.
Okay. And like a foreign use
A
vehicle?
foreign use vehicle from the date of registration in Japan up to 5 years. After that, it has to have an inspection.
Inspection
Every
done.
2 years. P-cars is
Okay.
every 2 years. Taxis, rental vehicles, every year.
Okay. So is it possible we can know, I know you're famous for being seen on the roadway. When you are doing your checks, you stop a vehicle. What authority do you really have as the license officer to enforce the regulations with regard to these?
Well, once we stop you and we check your vehicle and we see these offenses or defects on your vehicle, we could give you a notice to bring your vehicle for inspection.
Okay.
Forthwith,
Right.
according to the nature of the inspection, of the defect.
Right.
If it is an offense that they commit, we can give you a ticket,
Okay.
or we could warn you of internal prosecution and proceed by summons.
Okay, now I know you've had many years of experience as a license officer, and as we heard earlier, we are seeing a lot of increase in road accidents and that kind of thing in Tobago. Is there anything you want to say to motorists, pedestrians, users of the roadway, in terms of your own take on what that situation is and how we can probably treat with improving that?
We have to try, the vehicle population in Tobago has grown, and it's growing every day.
Yeah.
Because every day we license new vehicles here. And we as drivers have to keep that to the front of our head and know that now it's not like long ago, in the 80s, we only had few vehicles here.
Right.
Every time you drive down the road and every time you look ahead, our vehicle is coming. So we have to keep that in the head. And you have to tell yourself it makes no sense trying to overtake. Because once you overtake, a vehicle always coming.
Yeah.
You have to obey the speed limit and try to arrive alive.
Okay.
And avoid and drive defensive.
Right.
You have to be defensive. You have to give away sometimes. You might have the right away. It is better to slow down and give up your rights.
Right.
And let the other vehicle proceed and avoid an accident.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Patrick. It has been a pleasure chatting with you.
Kisha, you know this girl coming here?
What's that?
I can't remember her name. But if you hear the kinds of things this girl is be saying about you,
Serious? Like what?
girl, all kind of things.
Don't study it. We go fix that. I hear you talking about me.
You hear me talking about
Huh?
Don't worry, y'all back up here, y'all back up.
Stop the violence and abuse. Stay calm. Start thinking.
people talk, yes.
The Ministry of National Security Citizen Security Program.
The decisions you make today influence your future. You determine where you want to be. Make the right choice. Stop. Stay calm. Start thinking. A message from the Ministry of National Security's Citizen Security Program.
I'm Samantha John.
I am Nadia Batson.
The incredible Myron B.
I'm K.I. Chucky Gordon.
Hi, my name is Sheriff.
And we are Freetown.
And I'm urging each and every citizen of our beautiful country.
It's time for us to put a stop to crime and violence in Trinidad and Tobago once and for all.
In Freetown, we believe that every citizen has the right to life.
We need to be responsible not only for ourselves but for others as well.
I think the only way to counteract any kind of fear is to inject love.
We have the power to stand up, to unite, to stay positive, and to win back our country.
Build a culture of lawfulness, peace, respect, love, harmony.
The Citizen Security Program.
Stop the violence and abuse.
Stop the violence and abuse.
Stay calm.
Stay calm.
Stay calm.
Stay calm and start thinking.
Start thinking.
And start thinking.
A message from the Citizen Security Program. Stop the violence and abuse. Stay calm and start thinking.
One bite. I want to play.
Oh, you can do that, boy. Oh, you can do
that, boy.
Stop the violence and abuse. Stay calm. Start thinking. The Ministry of National Security Citizen Security Program.
No, I'm not ready for that.
Stop. Stay calm. Start thinking.
Okay, cool.
Later.
Cool.
A message from the Ministry of National Security's Citizen Security Program.
Remember, we don't want to know who you are. We just want your information. Crime Stoppers. It's safe and it works.
Driving without due care and attention, according to Corporal Sebro of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Traffic Branch, is the leading cause of road traffic accidents in Tobago. So Tobago CSI spoke with Mr. Joseph Johnson of Johnson's Defensive Driving School, and he shared with us the difference between a good driver and a safe driver. What do you think about the situation that's happening now in Tobago?
Well, what has happened in Tobago right now is that persons are taking advantage of this. A number of our young drivers, they need to be educated. I'll tell you what, since 1966, when they have changed the standard of regulations, persons no more understand the value of the road.
So you're saying that there's a change in people's behavior on the roadway?
On the road, yes.
Could you give us a picture of what your thoughts are on how people are using the roadways now?
What they're doing wrong is that persons are using the road as though they're in the bushes. They are passing you on any side. Sometimes they're passing you on the left, they're passing you on the right, they're passing you around the corner, and they're just not sounding the horn, they're not waiting, they're not concerned of who is coming, and they no more think that life is worthwhile living.
Okay, and what is the result of that? What are we seeing happening?
Because of this, we have what is called too much road rage, and too many persons are losing their life.
Have you seen that increasing over the years, and what do you think is accounting for that?
Again, I'm saying that because persons have become selfish, not being equipped or understanding the road, the rules and purpose of the road, educating our drivers on the rules and purpose of the road. For instance, if you ask these young people that are on the road today, what is the speed limit? The very simple thing is, what is the speed limit?
But then that's part of your regulation?
Yes, but then, could I ask you, what is the speed limit?
I think it's 30 miles an hour.
Good.
That's correct, right?
Yes.
Right. But then how does that translate to, because sometimes you're on the road, and I've done it, you're driving at this 30 miles an hour, and it's like, oh, it's forever, you're crawling on the road.
I tell you, that is very
So
nice.
is it that speed limit is realistic for the type of vehicles that we now have and what's happening? Do you think it's realistic?
Yes. All you have to do is to deal with a little word called time.
Right, tell us about that.
Time is important in everything we do. A little word, because here it is. You need to get to work for 7:45.
Right.
You are living, let me say, Cinnamon Hill.
But you know everywhere in Tobago is about 5 minutes from work.
Good. And so because it's 5 minutes from work, you take advantage of the time.
Yeah.
Right? Now that advantage of the time that you would have taken, now think of when you go down the road and there's a, let me say, a collision somewhere along the, on the road. That 5 minutes. Now you have to get there for 7:45, very important. 5 minutes gone. What are you going to do next?
I
tell you what,
drive a little faster.
Speed. You start out to speed.
Yeah.
And the risk of speeding, what? You are now threatening your life, the life of other persons on the road, the lives of my little sheep that is crossing the road, or my little...
but you know your sheep not supposed to be
I'm
crossing the road.
but because of you speeding, I started running.
Okay. Alright. So you're saying that time and managing your time is important.
Managing time is very, very important.
What else is important in ensuring that you drive safely on the road?
Knowing your vehicle, knowing your whole management of life. Again, I'm saying thinking is important. Thinking is important.
Well, you know, we think, but it's what we're thinking about. I may be thinking that, hey, I need to get there quickly. I may be thinking, listen to me, but who are these people just driving slow on the road and blocking me? What do we need to think about? What's important?
The important part of that is that where I'm going, is it so important that I could go without risking the life of others and myself?
Right.
Is it ever so important that when I'm going, I'm risking my life and the life of other people?
So it's the value of life.
The value of life.
That we need to think about.
Very much.
Very important. So our time, managing our time, and valuing life. Is there anything else that is critical in ensuring that we operate safely on the road?
Knowing the traveling distance or the following distance, because a number of persons feel that if I drive at 100 kilometers and get there, I am, you know, I'm a bus driver, I'm good. Right? But this is not all to it. You only happen to get through there because you challenge it and someone avoid you getting into collision. That person who would have done that, you know.
So it's important that you take responsibility for your own driving.
That's right.
And not just expect everybody to give you way.
Okay.
All right. I see you have an interesting little gadget on this side here that we tend to have a lot of accidents around this little gadget here.
Yeah, the simple way. Here I have here, it's the traffic lights. and it works. It is an official traffic light, right? So a number of people do not understand this.
Right, yeah. What does that mean?
Okay. Here is the amber light. Now the amber light, a lot of people take advantage of running through an amber light.
Yeah.
Let me say that amber light tells you slow down, proceed with caution. It even says to you to stop.
So it doesn't mean, listen me, I'm going to get a red, so I better get through there as quickly as possible.
No, he's telling you stop.
But you know, some people calculate the time and know that, listen me, I have, how much seconds it have before it changes to red? I have just a couple seconds. And so if I get up fast, I'm almost there, but if I get up quickly, I can actually get through before it turns to red, because there's a little pause after also, right?
Green doesn't always mean that you should run through there with your car, eh?
No?
No. Before you do this, you should really give that 2-second thought of moving before you pass. For instance, someone would have been coming down, right? And the light would have changed to green, to red.
Yeah.
Just that 2 seconds. But already that person will come in.
On green. Yeah.
The light changed to red. What are you going to do? The light changed to green.
Pray that I have good brakes, I suppose.
You get to the brakes?
Pray that I have good brakes.
And if you fail, who gets the glory? I'll tell you who gets the glory. Bell Grove. Bell Grove. You know what? Sometimes because you are traveling on green,
yeah,
and approximately 100 feet away, you would have seen that green. The light turned to red.
Yeah.
What the eye is going to be seeing? Steady green.
Green. Yeah.
Steady green. Because the eye remains still green.
Right.
But this one said, welcome to Bell Grove. At all times, even though the light is on green, when it changes from red, amber to green, it is important that you take that 2 seconds before you move.
So you have seen more and more persons now coming forward to learn about defensive driving?
Well, it's not very much, but I'm looking forward that persons going to put themselves more to learn of this defensive driving or driving education. I changed it from defensive driving. I tell you why. The reason I moved that word from defensive driving is that when they say defensive driving, some people think, well, look man, you could come and make a 360. You could come and, but no. I want to educate persons on simple, these little people.
Right.
Right?
Okay, so it's understanding the whole process of being a licensed driver and how you operate on the road.
Yes.
Do you think that this is something that should be mandatory?
Yes. I believe it should be mandatory.
Okay.
I believe that traffic safety education should be mandatory. You know what? Just this morning, I have sent a letter on to the Commissioner of Transport.
Right, okay.
Just this morning, I sent a letter on to the Commissioner of Transport asking him to make this thing mandatory.
Okay, all right, excellent. Now as we wrap up here, any final words you would want to say to drivers on the road in order to ensure that we're safer, that we're reducing the number of accidents that we currently have?
And I want to say to all Trinidad and Tobago that safe driving saves lives. A good driver contributes to plenty death, giving Mr. Belgrove a good business. Because I have realized that good drivers learn to speed. And when they learn to speed, they do get into collision. Some come out alive and some went on. So I'm saying to drivers, traffic safety education, why not come and take at my place? I'm here available every day As long as you can do it, you want to get yourself a little more informed on driving safety, Johnson Driving School is available to do such course for you.
Okay. So you're saying don't be a good driver, be a safe driver.
Safe driving is what you need.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you
it's been
again
a
for coming.
pleasure chatting with you.
And let me say thank you.
Hi, welcome back to Tobago CSI. In this episode where we looked at road safety, it was a very critical one. When we looked at the increasing amounts of road accidents, deaths, when we saw some of those vehicles and the conditions they were in, right? It's important for us. We felt it is important for us to leave these very important tips with you in terms of road safety. What are some of the tips that stood out to you, Anne-Marie?
Well, I remember the power check. And it stands for the acronym, and every week, at least once a week, you should conduct a power check on your vehicle. Petrol,
oil,
water,
electrical,
and rubber.
Yes.
Yeah, that's important. At least once a week, do the power check on your vehicle to ensure that your vehicle is roadworthy and you won't have any problems.
And we talk about the speeding. I know sometimes it might be difficult, but it's important for us to pay attention to the speed limits, as well as to be courteous.
Well, yes, courteous in that sense. Or shout out to people on the road and that kind of thing. Understand that everybody makes mistakes sometimes, and that you should not cut people off on purpose, especially if they're trying to overtake. Allow them to come into the lane.
But what about when you're going to the lines and you're on the phone and you're driving? Yeah, George, which corner?
No. You have to maneuver your corners smoothly and ensure that you observe the proper safe distance. Oh, that's one I remember. The 2-second rule.
Yes, that 2 seconds rule.
So you must always ensure that you are at least 2 seconds behind the vehicle that is in front of you.
What about when it's raining?
4 seconds, increase it. But there is a way to know whether that you are 2 seconds or not. It means that the vehicle that is in front of you, you should at all times be able to see the bottom of the rear tire.
Really? I missed that one.
Yep.
Okay.
Even when you're in traffic.
Okay.
And in a line of traffic going on, make sure that you can see. When you stop, you're going to move off, you can see the bottom of the rear tire of the vehicle. So when you move off, you already have that 2 seconds.
But to avoid the cell phone use thing when you're driving too, it's important for us to plan our trip before. So I don't have to be, sudden stops. I need to know very clearly where I'm going. Get clear direction.
But that rule probably didn't take into consideration more mature people. Because I don't we forget all the time. You leave to go down the road, but then you remember, oh gosh, I'm supposed to go by the gas station. So you just make a quick turn and you're going by the gas station.
That is why we need to be cautious when we're doing these things. Remember, you're not alone on the road, so you have to pay attention and consider the other drivers on the road.
This driving thing really is serious. There are traffic lights there for a reason. Red means stop. Amber means slow down. No. It actually means slow down.
Okay.
Make sure the road is safe if you have to proceed, because that coming up after the amber light is stop.
Yeah.
So you have to stop when it says stop.
So Vioshi telling me at 12 o'clock in the night or 12:30, I must stop by a light that I feel is unsafe.
And no other vehicle behind you? Yes, you have to stop. And not only the traffic lights, sometimes the roadway have a sign that says stop.
Right.
It doesn't mean pause, it means you have to physically stop. But sometimes a vehicle may be coming down the road thinking they have the right, or knowing that they have the right, or we are not paying attention to you, and you get yourself in serious trouble.
What about, well, I feel I don't really like AC much. So I will have my glass down. But certain times of the night, in terms of safety, it's important that you wind up your glass and you lock your vehicles. Once you're in there, well, we know about the seat belts. I don't think we have to talk about the seat belts.
No, we should not have to talk about the seat.
Right.
But you know, I believe they should have seat belts in the front and in the back too. That you have to buckle up everywhere.
Right.
Because the kinds of accidents that we are seeing now, everybody is affected. And remember, it's your personal safety that you're looking out for here.
Yes.
You know?
And we also heard about the parking. Don't park close to dark areas and then with walls. And you know it's important, even when you're going to a vehicle, that you have your keys. You don't want to be you're coming from a function in a dark area, you're digging in your pocket because you're now looking. Think safety. You go into your car, have your vehicle, your car keys in a place that you can access it.
Quite easily.
Quite.
But then, you know, something else struck me the other day. I driving down the road and I noticed this car kind of too close for comfort. And I turned so, and the car turned too. I go down the street a little bit and I make a left turn and the man make a left turn too. So what am I supposed to do in that time? I wanted to come out and give him a piece of my mind.
We will want to as human beings. But as we were cautioned, it's important for us to drive to the nearest police station for safety.
Yeah. And another thing that annoys me a lot, Ato, especially when you're driving at night, some drivers not considerate at all. They put on these bright lights.
Yes, that's the truth.
And not just that, but they're flicking them, all kind of fancy thing. You're not sure if the indicator is an indicator because it's the wrong color totally.
Yes.
And then it keep blinking all the time, so you're not quite sure when they're going to turn.
And you know, that is why when we're driving at night, we need to be more cautious, because even sometimes pedestrians are not easy to see. Somebody might be going to some party, they're dressed in all black. Talking about parties, when you park in secluded areas because you have no choice, man, woman and child, it's important. Don't feel shame, fellas. Let your partners walk to the vehicle with you. Even if you have to take them, because you never know. And make sure if you're by yourself, you really don't know nobody, you fall out with your friends and you're going to the car alone, make sure and watch around your vehicle before you get in. Observe it before you get in.
And you know, if you had two to drink, or a little more than two, be sure that you have a designated driver. And a designated driver must not be drinking.
You have to ensure that.
You have to ensure that, you know, because some people had the designated driver, but they didn't designate them not to drink. And that is important. You know, in this business on the roadways, safety is always first.
Yes.
But sometimes we get into accident, you know. Despite how safe we are, somebody hit you in the back, something happened. Because it's a man-made thing, it's a vehicle. When you get into an accident, what you have to do?
Report it. Always ensure that you take the relevant information and report it to the police. And even if you're going to work it out between yourself, ensure that a report is made. We are the eyes of our neighborhood.
So true.
And you can be an anonymous eye. So when you see suspicious behavior in car parks, and don't be afraid to contact the police. And of course, we at the Citizen Security Program are willing to give you more information if necessary, and you can contact us at
635-0478.
Be safe,
so you won't be sorry.